You asked me to drive the all-new generation of the Kia Sportage. Well, here we go. Let's go. So how good is it now and can it reach the top of this segment? We'll find out together. Thomas and Autogefühl. And thanks to the Heinen dealership in Germany for supplying the vehicle for us. Check it out if you want to buy one. Then you can see here the all-new generation, a strong front. Here this very sporty grille. Here even sportier because this is the GT line. And we also have the silver contrast here in the lower part and the sporty look right here. And of course you see it directly here. These daytime running lights, this blade, so to speak. Wow, that looks really impressive. So big change here for the new generation, also with this new Kia logo. LED is standard for the main headlamp unit. Matrix LED is an option. Now even more interesting, so everything I'm telling you today basically counts for all the new Sportage versions worldwide. However, there's one difference. So this one here, built in Slovakia for the European market with the short wheelbase at 4.51 meters or 178 inches. Then there's also long wheelbase available that is built in Korea or also for the US market in Georgia for the new generation. That's very interesting. A little bit longer wheelbase and overall 15 centimeters or 5 inches longer. So it's not the biggest difference. But here also that rear window graphic will look a little bit different. But from the front here, that area, all the same actually. The GT line would usually come already with 19-inch wheels, however here 18-inch winter tires mounted. And also in the GT line we have here the painted wheel arches in black then, which is still a contrast here to this very dark grey color we have for you here today. Then also the contrasting mirrors and still a chrome trim in the lower part, then the black one in the upper part. That's a very interesting design combination. And then you have this, you know, braking design line. They did that intentionally on purpose. But I think clean design is a more beautiful design, so not a fan of this feature here. Are you? There's also a unique new rear design. The light strip does not go through, although it looks like it at first when it's not illuminated, but you can see here also pretty cool with the tail lamps right there. And also a contrasting part here. Diffuser style kind of, maybe like soft off-road style or something. No fake exhaust, that's actually quite good. So a very clean and interesting design in the rear. And what's also interesting is suspension-wise, either base or here with the GT line you automatically get the electronically controlled suspension, ECS. We will test it today. I'm really looking forward to it. Khaki, classic but good quality. And here the controls at the sides, like that. Then press it here for the keyless entry and door closing sound. Okay, but have heard it better. Yeah, and beep beep beep, that's of course, you know, key is not in the vehicle, ignition is on and so on and so on. Then inside here of the doors is, yeah, somewhat soft touch, so that's actually good. Then a lot of high gloss piano lacquer is being used. We don't like it that much actually. But then here, the GT line also gets a microfiber at the inside of the doors. That's actually quite fancy. And then this completely new cockpit layout here with that sporty steering wheel style. Hey, and we still have real buttons at the steering wheel. Left for the volume, for example, right then to control the cruise control. Seats come fabric as base, or then here in the GT line, they come with the animal-free leatherette on the inside. And then here at the side parts, there's microfiber. Maybe it would have been clever to also have microfiber in the middle part, however, for more breathability. But this is also, you know, a cool way here, GT line. So overall, pretty nice looking seats. But are they also comfortable? Yes, indeed. So makes a very good impression so far. So getting along with it, 1.86 meters or 6'1". This is the headroom I still have left, although this one is here, the one with the panoramic roof. You can also open that one, ignition on, then you can open it and it goes quite far and also has a cover actually, so a shade that is, you know, you can block out the sun a little bit more. And also steering goes out, up, down, so manual way, but very good to adjust. The all-new interior in the overview, really interesting. First of all, soft touch dashboard here and then 2x 12.3-inch screens. That looks impressive, definitely, but I freshly cleaned that for you, otherwise fingerprints all over the place. And also here, this lower unit, we will take a closer look at that very soon. Steering wheel view once again. Here you switch through the digital instruments on the right side, lane keeping assist on the left side. Then that's, you know, the volume control I would rather use, and press it here for muting it or then playing it back again. Digital instruments are clear to read. Mild hybrid system would be, you know, visually available right here, but still consumption around 9 liters on 100 kilometers, so barely some 30 mpg. That's not as good as expected. Here the driving modes also switch then these visualizations. That's actually quite fancy. And GPS wise, you can have some basic information there, but of course only when you have the car internal GPS. Central infotainment system here with a quite easy menu actually. Let's take a look here at the map. So this is then the inbuilt GPS, and I still don't get this grappling hook effect they're using. There are worse maps, but there are definitely better map software. I think that's clear, so rather would use the Apple CarPlay or Android Auto map for that. Other than that, here for example, to switch to the radio here for example, so that's possible, or then here to media when you have connected it with Bluetooth. At this moment I have connected this with Bluetooth, soon more to that why. Here first of all, optional Harman Kardon sound system. Very crystal clear sound. However, as for the surround sound, I would prefer it to come a little bit more from the back actually. But then let's finish up this, you know, this menu here. So not too much you can do with it. There's also a digital climate menu available, but usually you would all do that from below. This is what I mean. It's actually quite well done. Still, we have manual climate dials. I love to have that. That's so cool. Then they have this dual effect. So this is kind of like the climate menu, but you can switch it then to the GPS. Maybe have some hotkeys like map and so here, but and this one here then becomes the volume jog. However, since we have one at the steering wheel, I would rather leave it then here with a climate unit and to be able to control that here then all the time. Lower middle console, let's open this, and yeah, I mean, a lot of black paint, like can't there be something else? And then when you open this one, and today I cannot show the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto because look at that nice cable here, which has like this, you know, iPhone, USB-C, USB Classic. But when I put in this one and connect the iPhone, it says cable not supported. So it does not support these third-party cables. I often had it now in Hyundai or Kia vehicles, and yeah, do I have to always carry original Apple cables, super expensive, with me now all the time? That is really weird, isn't it? Then inductive charging pad also in the lower part. Here this area with a nice shifting lever for this new dual clutch transmission, reverse and drive mode, that's it. And here, very cool, heated seats, cooled seats. There's also nice, a leatherette seat that can be cooled, also nice to have that. And also here then heated steering wheel, great to have just individual buttons for these important functions. And then we have the drive mode selector here, for example for sport mode or the eco mode. And there's even, you know, here there's like a mid differential lock available. Oh, off-roading, also hill descent control, so also somewhat off-road capable. Then we have either this open area or here then, yeah, cup holders. Oh, from the studio episode, they have been, you know, slowed down a little bit, but still they are really fast, like bam, there we go. And then we have this leatherette armrest. Let's see how, that's a little bit cheaply attached. But then, you know, for all your clutter, you have enough space. And the resolution is actually not too bad. Here I also have in this highest spec the fake drone view from above. Rear seats here, hardpack at the inside of the doors, but cool door handle design. And then here, when the seat is to the position I would be driving, I exactly fit in here. Also headroom wise, would be a little more headroom without the panoramic roof, but overall offering of space is okay. Also interesting integrated jacket hanger here at the back part of this head restraint. So actually a cool idea. And seating position is good here also in the rear. You can also adjust this back part here a little bit more to the lying back position, more upright. And that's also easily done. Middle tunnel is somewhat present in the middle part. You can also see it's actually quite soft and plush, so you can use this vehicle here with 5 tall Ls, that's possible. The middle part here, cup holders, but they are not adaptive. Oh, an interesting detail here, 2 USB-C chargers integrated here in the seat. And before I said, is Thomas absolutely insane? He shows 1, but he says 2, 1 and 2. There we go. I really like this feature that when you have the key just in your pocket and the car is closed and you approach it, peep, 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 you have to wait a little bit, and then without doing anything, the hatch opens. There's only one problem, that when you go past the vehicle and you really have parked close to a wall or something, then you have to just disappear quickly, or hold it tight manually. Let's check out the trunk. Trunk area, you can get this rugged rubber pad here, but of course you do not have to get it. The width is about 1 meter or 40 inches and the length is around 80 centimeters or 31 inches. The overall height, really to the very top, is 75 centimeters or 29 inches. And then you can fold the seats from here. That's actually easily done. So left and right, and they directly fold flat. That's actually pretty cool. So good organization of that. And then to the front seats, as I would be driving, is 1 meter 65 or 65 inches. And what about the child safety test? Yeah, I think that's feasible. Engines, 4-cylinder and front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive on demand, either 1.6 liter diesel or 1.6 liter turbo petrol engine, here with mild hybrid technology. There's also an inbuilt hybrid technology available or a plug-in hybrid, and all basically based on the same engine. And for the US market there will be a 2.5 liter natural aspirated engine, a bigger one. Welcome to Thomas's Driving Lounge with the Kia Sportage all-new generation. Here the 1.6 turbo petrol engine, 180 horsepower, all-wheel drive, 7-speed dual clutch transmission. This one with MHEV, mild hybrid technology, so not the inbuilt hybrid, not the plug-in hybrid, the most, classic one so far. Here we do have a sport mode. When we go into sport mode, here instruments change. And let's go from... Now I have this car pass, so it's safer for everyone. Then 40 kilometers an hour to, let's see, let's go. 100. 150. Quite smooth. Lane change here, high speed. 170. Suspension is now a little bit stiffer, and now wind noise is picking up, but it's not too loud. Here now at 180 kilometers an hour, that's like close to top speed, a little bit more. Still well to control here. The ECS, electronically controlled suspension, is helping me. It's a little bit stiffer now. Yeah, closer to 190 kilometers an hour. Now we have to cancel. Still well to control on the brakes. Could be maybe a little bit poor, but well to control. Yeah, and back here to 80 kilometers an hour. So that's fine overall. The steering input here is quite direct, but could be maybe a little bit more natural, so to speak. Here we can also activate or deactivate the lane keeping assist, this active lane keeping assist. What I really feel is here the electronically controlled suspension does a good job. Finally, adaptive suspension in here for a Kia or Hyundai model, not available for all the models. And when you, for example, go back to the normal mode, you really feel that it's smoother in the ride over some bumps, and in the sport mode you have a little bit more control. But then maybe also here on camera, I don't know, when I'm going like over some, some bumps in the road and so on, it's really like getting rougher. And once again here in the tunnel you can see it's a little bit illuminated here, there and there, and then you can see how it changes here, normal mode, driving, eco mode, normal, sport. So yeah, it's actually a nice feature. And we also have the digital speed then in the middle. What was also interesting, this being the all-wheel drive model, we have these gauges here that show the distribution. So when I'm just like, rather static, then actually just front-wheel drive. It's a front-wheel driven platform, but when I accelerate a little bit more, then also power to the rear wheels a little bit here. And it really depends. Here, let's check out. Normal mode, most for the front wheels, but now sport mode. Let's see if that changes actually. Yeah, indeed. So in the sport mode, you see that directly more power is being transported to the rear wheels. At least that's what I have an impression. Let's try that one more time. Normal mode here. Yeah, that really seems to be the case. So, and that also makes sense. We quite often see that in sport mode, more power to the rear wheels. It will still have front wheel bias, but then at least you get a little bit more power. Here, especially in normal mode, steering wheel could be giving you a little bit more feedback, I think. So in the sport mode, that's a little bit better. Here, I think it's too light. That's rather than focused on that you are able to park in and out, a little bit easier and so on. But that suspension, I'm really happy with that. So that's probably the best about this new generation. So big improvement with the suspension. And when you ask yourself, shall I go for this adaptive suspension? I would say yes. It improves both comfort and sportiness on demand and at the same time. Here, by the way, turning left or right, you can see that these camera images appear. Then there's another blind spot. Or hit the turning indicator in the wrong direction. The police see that? I think they have better business to attend to. So once again here, left, and then I see the camera image on the left side. There's also the blind spot monitor in the side mirrors, but this is like a good addition that you can also see that as an additional warning, because we know blind spot accidents are quite frequent still, and glad that we have these warners. Put it here to the sport mode one more time. Yeah, in the sport mode I have a little bit more feedback from that steering wheel. Normal, it's just too vague actually. Better in the sport mode, but still very light. And steering doesn't give me a direct control like driver, steering and road. So that is not that present. It's not super bad or something. It's just that you don't have like this natural connection, so to speak. But once again, especially in the sport mode, the suspension also gets a little bit stiffer, but without getting super uncomfortable. But the normal mode, I think the suspension is the best, because it still doesn't shake up too much, but it's really comfortable. And suspension wise, probably the best Kia suspension we had so far. And we often said that, hey, Hyundai, Kia and also Genesis, this great, this great, this good, but suspension wise, they lag a little bit behind. Here it's not the case. Absolutely on top with the competition, or maybe even better than some of the competitors. So top-notch suspension here in this case, really. Yeah, that's also one of the key findings for today. So really good to go for this ECS, which is again standard in this GT line we have here today. One more time, acceleration. Let's go to the sports mode when we are already at speed. Here from 85 kilometers an hour. Let's go. 130 and 150. That should be enough for now, because I also want to test with the noise. Let's go back to the normal mode. Here at 150 kilometers an hour, some wind noises definitely. Overall noise insulation has been improved. And let's see what would be a very good highway speed. Yeah, I think here 125, something about that. Yeah, like 70 miles an hour, 120. I would have expected a little bit more improvement as for the noise insulation, so that could be better. Here now, when I have set the cruise control and also with the active steering, let's see, now it picked up, yeah. So now I can increase speed here. Good that we still have real buttons at the steering wheel, so that's easy to control while driving. And now I keep my hands on the steering wheel. Yes, it's already warning me. And now let's see, the motorway goes in a slight bend. What's this car doing? Is it smooth, how it keeps me in the lane? Let's see about that. So it is notable, yes, but so far quite smooth. Earlier I went into a construction lane, and that was actually not that well done, so car didn't catch up with that. But here, when we have like very clear lines, it's actually no problem, and that can also be quite good. But yeah, as for the wind noises, it's not too windy outside today, but I feel wind noise, so noise insulation wise, they could have done a little bit better. Obviously they didn't pay too much attention to that. Maybe just paid it just all the attention to the suspension then. But nevertheless, it's actually a nice ride. If you compare the driving to the previous generation, so the chassis feels a little bit stiffer, so better in handling. And of course, you somehow get a different impression because here of this, of this dual screen, but yeah, you gotta clean it all the time as well. But driving wise, it doesn't feel that it would have been like the biggest step ever from generation to generation. So I would say if you really like, the new digital gauges or so, and that would be super important to you, then it might be a big step. But if you're now driving the previous generation Sportage and ask yourself, do I really need to sell my current one and need to get the new generation? I think the previous generation was also fine, So sometimes there are new generations where you really say like, oh my God, this is so much better. This really, like the previous generation looks kind of like bad in comparison to that. But here, I think the previous generation will be just fine. This is a slight improvement in driving, definitely, but not the huge one. Especially when you compare like normal suspension. But biggest difference, once again, suspension. And when you say, so far not too much comfort, then get one with the ECS and you will be just fine. Here the GT-Line is also a nice pick with these leatherette Alcantara mix seats, so this also will be quite good. By the way, also once again good with the buttons here, you can also deactivate the active lane keeping assist at any time just with the press of a button, and I really like that, and also that we are able to control the climate unit here while driving like this here, just with a manual way. I really like that. I rather not change to the GPS hotkeys here. I rather leave it here on the climate menu that I can see everything there. But I really think that is, once again confirmed here in the driving part, they found this right user interface mix. I still have the screen, yes, with the known problems with non-working third-party cables, as I mentioned earlier. But then again, I do have the real buttons, and here when I want a heated steering wheel, I just press one button and that's it, and I can concentrate on driving still. And that's really, really good. So once again, suspension is the one I like best. Steering could be a little bit better, noise cancellation could be a little bit better. Definitely improvement if you compare the previous generation. Overall, if you compare to competitors, they're doing a lot of things very, very well here with the all-new Sportage. So definitely one of the hot competitors here in this compact to mid-size SUV segment. Size always depending on the definition, which country you're from. One of the big competitors, of course, the VW Tiguan, and we have it as a comparison with the Hyundai Tucson, which is a sister model here to this model. And of course the Ford Kuga, however you pronounce it. Check in these videos with as well.